down.
Now, the first team we're going to take a look at is American League. They played against Detroit in this World Series. Just a little backstory. American League had to upset National League to get to the World Series, and Detroit had to take out Boston. So we kind of had a couple surprising upsets, so it wasn't quite the matchup we anticipated. Nate, why don't you give me your thoughts on what you like about the American League's batting lineup?
My thoughts as far as what I like can be summed up with the words Willie Randolph. Willie Randolph is the first batter in the lineup, and he's horrible. And what I love about that is that means that I instantly bring in Mark McGwire to replace him. And what I actually really love about their lineup is Mark McGwire being first, because Mark McGwire getting the most at-bats of any player in the game is awesome. Remember that for each pinch hitter, the first time they pinch hit, you get a 64-point power boost on your power rating, which takes McGuire's power ranking over 1,000, which is just incredible. He is ridiculously powerful, and basically, especially on that first pinch hit, you know, I've tried to pitch around him, and if he touches the ball, it has so much life off his bat that I'm pretty sure he's hit some that still haven't landed yet. I really like the fact that Mark McGwire goes in first, and any team that I'm going against has to face him more times than anybody else. I also like basically the fact that the first 5 spots in their lineup are crazy powerful. Every one of them's hit moonshots on me. You go against, you know, after you got McGwire, you got Mattingly, and George Bell is just killer, and Jose Canseco has an even higher power rating than McGwire normally, which is just incredible as well. Ripken also is powerful. There's some other bats in that lineup as well, but I really, really love just the power at the top of the order. I also kind of like the fact that as far as the bench goes, after McGwire, it's a little thin as far as power goes, but they have some speed on the bench. You have Julio Franco that can come in, and he's a 140 speed, which is super fast. And, you know, you also have Paul Molitor who can come in, and, you know, the bench isn't too shabby. You occasionally would want to put one of those guys in for Bill Schrader or Schroeder, the catcher at the bottom of the lineup. But for the most part, it's Mark McGwire replacing Willie Randolph that makes me excited about their lineup.
All right, well, we covered the stuff we do like. I'm going to take just a minute here to talk about what we don't like. My biggest problem with American League is after Jose Canseco, you have Cal Ripken there in the, let's see, that'd be the 5th spot. And Ripken, as far as power goes, is a pretty average guy. And then after him, it's like a complete black hole, just a slug of weak bats. Baines, he is a lefty. He's got a weak bat. George Brett, Bill Schroeder, you know, obviously we end up subbing him out a lot, and then you get the pitcher. So my problem with the American League is if you can work around the big bats at top, basically your pitcher gets to cruise through 4 straight batters without really worrying about giving up a home run. One other little problem I have with the lineup, after McGwire, Mattingly, he's also kind of an average power hitter, and I found Mattingly to be a double play machine quite often. So if you can pitch around McGwire, you can get Mattingly in the double play, and then you really just have to get Bell out, and then you can pitch around Canseco, and then you basically go downhill on the last part of the lineup.
I guess I would say the other thing I don't like about the lineup is the fact that they're very weak on left-handers.
Sure.
Yeah. You know, Brad mentioned that Don Mattingly is a double-play machine, and he's a left-handed batter. He's got some power, and he's a good hitter, but if he hits the ball anywhere near the ground, it's going to be a double play. The other left-handed bat in the lineup is Harold Baines, and he leaves a lot to be desired from the left side. And the other thing is they have 0 left-handers on the bench. The entire bench is right-handed heavy, and I like to have at least some options coming off the bench in case I want to throw a lefty in there depending upon who the other team's pitching. Some pitchers it's easier to hit off of if you're batting with a lefty, and so that you don't really have that option with the American League squad.
Yeah, one thing I'll add just quick to hear the last point. A lot of times Don Mattingly is kind of the linchpin to the offense. If you pitch around McGwire and then Mattingly starts coming through and getting hits that game, it makes them so much harder to beat. So it just comes down a lot of times to what Mattingly can do as he's sandwiched in between those big bats.